Well, I never set out to be a school chaplain. I think as part of sensing this call to ministry, school chaplaincy was something that came across my bow from the side. I feel like it's a really privileged role and an incredibly important one. Like, we're surrounded by young minds who are forming their view of the world and searching for belonging, and have the privilege to introduce them to Jesus. This transformative idea of a God who created them, a God who loves them, and a God who wants to give them that sense of belonging and identity, and has a hope and a future for them. I think chaplaincy is incredibly important.
School chaplaincy is something that I'm particularly passionate about because of the history that I have with Christian schools, and particularly Anglican schools. When I was growing up, I had some very influential people who shared the Christian message and the good news, and allowed me to find meaning at times when things were tricky and things were difficult. And because of those people and the influence that they had on my own life, I've seen that young people today are searching for answers, and I believe I've got something that I can share with them as well.
I think I'm a chaplain because I've been a teacher in boys' schools for my whole life, and I've found myself in a boys' school teaching Christian education. And so for me, it became this naturally evolving calling into being able to be not just a spiritual guide for boys, but to help boys find their own sense of spirituality and faith. And for me, that's been probably most noticeable in them finding Jesus and relationship with him.
Well, I like being a school chaplain because I get involved in a community which is very lively. There are always different things to think about, different things to do. Always people asking interesting questions, especially in class. I started off as a teacher, and I wanted to become a priest and then later a chaplain because I wanted to teach things of ultimate importance. Chaplains in schools like fly the flag for the Christian faith and show people a different way of living, counterculture, really. And being a pastoral presence, being like a gate for the sheep to tell people, here is a space that is sacred, come in here, and be in awe of this wonderful God of ours.
Why am I a school chaplain? I've only actually quite recent to school chaplaincy in the last 10 years or so. Before that, I was in television, which was broadcasting the gospel. Chaplaincy opened up the opportunity of narrowcasting the gospel, of actually speaking to people one-on-one. And I guess what I love about it is the opportunity really to work with tomorrow's leaders, whether that be tomorrow's mums and dads or tomorrow's leaders of the nation, to share with them the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and to encourage them to think broader and further from themselves about, I guess, the sneaking suspicion that maybe God is alive.